The flashbulbs pop like gunfire, each burst searing my retinas as I shove through the crowd outside my San Francisco office. Paparazzi shout my name. Lily Harper, the biotech prodigy who tanked her own startup. Their voices sharp, gleeful, like hyenas circling a wounded animal. My heels catch on the cracked sidewalk, and I stumble, clutching my laptop bag as a shield. A microphone jabs toward my face, grazing my cheek. Lily, how's it feel to lose everything? A reporter sneers, his breath sour with coffee. I don't answer. I can't. My throat's a desert, and my pulse hammers so loud I'm sure they can hear it over the city's hum. This is my public execution, and the headlines are already writing themselves. Golden Girl falls, Harper biotech crumbles. I duck into my Tesla, the door hissing shut, sealing me in a bubble of silence that feels more like a coffin. The self-driving mode kicks in, but as I merge onto the 101 toward Marin County, the car lurches violently. Tires screech, the dashboard screams. System error in red, and I grip the wheel, yanking it hard as the guardrail looms. My heart slams against my ribs, adrenaline spiking as the car skids, then stabilizes, pulling to the shoulder. I'm shaking, breath ragged, staring at the headlights slicing through the fog. Was that a glitch or something else? My hands tremble as I restart the system, but the question lingers like a splinter under my skin. The drive to my parents' mansion in Marin is a blur of salt air and dread. Their estate sits on a cliff, all glass and steel, a monument to their biotech empire, Harpergenics. The gates part silently, recognizing my car's signal, but there's no warmth in the gesture. I park, my palms slick on the cold steering wheel, and stare at the porch light glowing like a false promise. I haven't been here in months, not since my startup Series B funding imploded, leaving me to drown in investor calls and bad press. But tonight, I'm not here by choice. My mother's text was a command. Dinner, 8 p.m. Don't be late, no emojis, no warmth, just Evelyn Harper's signature ice. I step out, my blazer wrinkled from 2 days of nonstop damage control, and the front door swings open before I can knock. My mother stands there, her blonde hair pulled into a flawless chignon, her silk blouse catching the light like liquid pearl. "Lily, darling," she says, her smile sharp as a scalpel, "you look exhausted." Her eyes flick over my disheveled state, faded lipstick, unwashed hair, then dart past me, scanning the driveway for lurking cameras. She's always been this way, guarding the family's image like a dragon hoarding gold. I follow her inside, my boots echoing on the marble foyer, each step heavier than the last. The dining room is a stage set for a power play. Crystal chandeliers, silver chargers, lilies that smell like a funeral home. My father, Richard, stands at the head of the table, his tie a deep indigo, the color of old money and older grudges. My younger sister, Ava, the family's golden child, offers a pitying half-smile from her seat. Her skincare brand just hit a $50 million 0 cents valuation, and the market's eating it up. She's the daughter they wanted, poised, predictable, profitable. I'm the glitch they can't debug. Evelyn thrusts a garment bag into my arms. "Ava's old gala dress," she says, her voice honeyed venom. "It'll fit if you skip dessert." The jab lands like a fist right under my breastbone, where all their insults collect. I swallow the sting and take my seat, the chair creaking under me like it knows I don't belong. A thick envelope rests on my plate, its weight a warning I can't ignore. My father clinks his glass, silencing the room. "We have news," he says, his voice booming with the confidence of a man who's never been questioned. "A strategic alliance with Coal Dynamics." My fork freezes midair. Coal Dynamics builds prosthetics, cutting-edge stuff that dances in the same neural tech sandbox as my failed startup. Richard continues, his words polished, rehearsed. "To formalize this partnership, their heir, Ethan Cole, will marry into our family." I wait for Ava's name, expecting her to be the prize in this corporate chess game. But their eyes, Evelyn's, Richard's, even Ava's, lock on to me. My stomach drops, a cold, plummeting weight. Evelyn slides a framed photo across the table. A man my age, maybe 30, sits in a sleek wheelchair, a thin scar tracing from his jaw to his collarbone. His eyes are steady, almost warm, but there's a hardness there, like tempered steel. Ethan has limitations, Richard says, tapping the frame, but he's well connected. A small price to restore our reputation after your misadventure. The word misadventure cuts deeper than the paparazzi's taunts. My startup's failure wasn't just a business flop, it was a public stain on the Harper name, and now I'm the collateral to clean it up. Ava avoids my gaze, her manicured nails tapping her wineglass. Evelyn lays the garment bag beside the envelope. Engagement announcements Friday. Wear this, navy slimming. Heat crawls up my neck, but I don't argue. Not yet. Silence is my armor, even if it chafes. I excuse myself, climbing the staircase I used to race up as a kid, back when this house felt like home. My old bedroom door is ajar, but the sight inside stops me cold. The floral wallpaper's gone, painted over in sterile white. My bed's replaced by metal shelves stacked with boxes, office files, winter coats. A food processor still in its packaging. My Stanford diploma, once hung proudly, lies in a cardboard carton, its frame cracked, glass missing, tangled in Christmas lights like discarded junk. I pull it out, dust smudging my fingers, and carry it to the guest room, the only space not claimed for storage. The envelope from dinner slides from my bag, landing on the twin bed. Inside, a printed engagement contract, unsigned, waiting for my name. A sticky note in Evelyn's cursive reads, "Sign tonight. Courier leaves at 8 a.m. Lightning flashes outside, and in its glare I catch my reflection in the window. Hair damp, mascara smudged, the dress bag crumpled at my feet like a white flag. I don't sign. Instead, I flip the pen between my fingers, watching sunrise bleed through the blinds. A number slips under my door sometime after midnight. Ethan's assistant. I dial it, my voice steady despite the hour. Coffee, Thursday, neutral ground. No parents, the assistant agrees, sending a thumbs-up emoji that feels like a smirk. I text back, if he's late, I'm gone. 3 days drag by, filled with divorce stats, prenup clauses, and a pint of Ben & Jerry's I eat straight from the carton. Thursday morning, I push through the glass door of a Napa Valley cafe tucked between a winery and a boutique. The air smells of roasted beans and oak barrels, jazz humming low. Ethan's already there, his wheelchair parked at a corner table, navy sweater crisp, hair cropped tight. He tries to stand, then settles for a nod, his voice softer than I expected, almost velvet.
"Lily?"
A barista hands him 2 cups. He slides one to me.
"Triple shot oat milk, 1 pump caramel.
My exact order down to the syrup. I never told anyone, not even Ava. My spine prickles. Either you're a mind reader or my parents overshared. He smiles, faint, almost sheepish. I read your TechCrunch interview. You mentioned your coffee obsession. Wasn't hard to guess. I sip, and it's perfect, annoyingly so. Let's cut to it, he says, folding scarred hands on the table. Your family wants a merger. Mine wants stability. I'm the handshake. His candor disarms me, but I don't trust it. Your condition? I ask, glancing at the chair. I manage. It's not who I am. He pulls a document from a leather folio. My name on the cover. My legal team's prenup. Full financial independence, no penalties if you walk, medical coverage for any kids, no claim on your assets. I laugh, brittle. A prenup that favors me. That's suspicious. He doesn't flinch. Suspicion keeps you sharp. Read it. Burn it if you won't. I won't chase. I scan the first page. No traps, just exits, bolded like promises. Why give me an out? I ask.
Because everyone else wants you caged, he says, sipping his coffee. And I don't need your father's company. My board thinks I do, but numbers lie. My stomach twists.
Then why agree?
His gaze drifts to the vineyard outside, rows of grapes glistening with morning dew. I admire your AI neural work. Your patents deserved funding. When your investors bailed, I bought them. The air leaves my lungs. Those patents, my life's work, are dormant, locked in a vault of failure.
They're waiting,
he corrects, eyes meeting mine. Like you. The espresso machine grinds, loud as a countdown.
Partnership, not ownership, he adds. If that scares you, walk.
I close the folio, heart pounding.
You quote my interviews, know my coffee order, and buy my patents. Either you're a saint or a strategist.
He leans back. Saints don't survive boardrooms. I prefer clarity. I nod, slipping the prenup into my bag. He checks his watch. Meeting across town, keep the document. Your timeline, not theirs. His handshake is firm, not pitying. You're not a handshake, Lily, you're the whole deal. He rolls toward the exit, vanishing into the morning mist. I linger, staring at the prenup, its ink promising freedom instead of chains. The barista clears my cup, and I tip her, stepping into the Napa sun. But as I reach my car, a hiss stops me cold. A rattlesnake coils on the driver's seat, its rattle a low, lethal hum. My pulse spikes, sweat beating on my neck. I back away, calling animal control, but the question burns. How did it get there? Someone wanted me scared, or worse, drive back to San Francisco in a rental, the prenup on the passenger seat, Ethan's words echoing. You're the whole deal, compliment or warning. I don't know yet, but I'm done being anyone's pawn. The city's neon blurs as I pull into my Soma loft, a shoebox I can barely afford now. I tuck the prenup under a stack of unpaid lab bills and open my laptop. If I'm marrying this man, I need truth, not my parents' lies. Google spits out scraps. Ethan at charity galas, a decade-old Forbes piece calling him a silent philanthropist. His LinkedIn's a ghost. Consultant, Bay Area, but a dusty SEC filing catches my eye. Horizon Ventures, Ethan's holding company, owns 45% of Coal Dynamics. Not a stranded heir, a kingpin. My parents painted him as a nobody to sell me their narrative. I dig deeper, cross-referencing patents, board minutes, charity ledgers. At 2 a.m., I find a BioWorld archive. Keynote underwriter Horizon Ventures, majority partner Ethan K. Cole. Sleep's a lost cause. I call Sarah Klein, a former colleague now at Stanford's Biotech Summit. Horizon Ventures, I say, voice low. What's the word? She hesitates. One guy pulls the strings. Quiet, ruthless, funds grants, then vanishes. Why? I lie, just curious, and hang up. My coffee's cold, but I don't care. Memories claw at me. A gala 10 years ago, my father snubbing a woman in sapphire silk, Ethan's mother whispering, "Money can't buy class." I was 16, embarrassed without knowing why. Now it's clear. They've been playing this game for years. I drive to Marin at noon, fury tempered but sharp. Evelyn meets me in the foyer, pearl earrings gleaming. "Here to thank us?" she asks, smirking. "I know who Ethan is," I say, voice steady. "You lied," her face flickers. Annoyance, not guilt. "We spared you disappointment, dear." I shake my head. "You spared your stock options." Richard enters, phone to his ear, eyebrow raised. Evelyn waves him off. "Ava's Vogue interview airs tonight. Don't ruin it." I follow their voices to Richard's study, the door cracked. My name slips through. "She needs humbling," Richard mutters. "Let her fail again. The marriage will keep her quiet."
Ethan can handle her charity hobbies after the merger. My breath catches. They don't want a daughter. They want a puppet. I back away, floorboard silent, and return to my old room. The shelves mock me, my diploma still buried in dust. I slide it out, roll it tight, and grab 2 changes of clothes. No goodbyes, just the soft click of the front door as I leave. I drive until the city fades, checking into a half-moon bay motel that smells of bleach and regret. In the bathroom mirror, my eyes are red but dry. I'm not their sacrifice, I whisper, the words a vow. That night, the motel's fire alarm blares. Smoke seeps under the door, thick and acrid. I grab my bag, coughing, and crawl to the window, prying it open as flames lick the hallway. I tumble onto the grass, heart racing, the motel's roof glowing orange against the night sky. Firefighters arrive, but the damage is done. My room's gutted, my laptop barely spared. Arson, the report says later, I don't believe in coincidences anymore. Someone wants me out of the game. I book a co-working space in Oakland, living off vending machine snacks and ignoring Evelyn's texts. Richard's message is curt. It's a business deal, not a fairy tale. Stay focused. Then Ethan calls. "Dinner," he says, voice even. "My father's partner's some board members, formal. I want you there." No apology for the gala snub, just an expectation. I hesitate. "Do I need to speak?" "No," he says. "Just be seen." I agree, not out of trust, but to gauge my enemies. If I'm building my own table, I need to know who's trying to burn it down. The dinner's at a cliffside estate in Sonoma, all glass and redwood, the kind of place that screams old money. I wear a sapphire gown, my hair pinned tight, armor for the night. The valet takes my coat and I step inside, clutching a silk purse like a lifeline. The room buzzes with tuxedos and diamonds, a string quartet weaving jazz through the air. But there's no place card for me at the head table. Ethan's name, his father's, his cousin's, but no list. The server mistakes me for press, his iPad showing no trace of my name. My chest tightens, but I keep my chin up, scanning the crowd. A woman in her 60s, dripping in emeralds, brushes past, her perfume sharp as gin. "You're the Harper girl," she says, voice like frost. "Your mother pushed hard for this. Pity you weren't Ethan's first pick." Her words land like a slap, and she glides away, leaving me stranded in a sea of indifferent glances. I'm an extra in their movie, invisible until they need a prop. 10 minutes later, I walk out, heels clicking like gunshots on the marble. The ocean air hits me cold and unforgiving. If they won't give me a seat, I'll carve my own throne. Back in my rental car, I grip the wheel, the prenup still in my bag, its promises mocking me. Ethan's not the broken man my parents claimed, but he's not my ally either. The snake, the fire, the crash, someone's playing dirty, and I'm not naive enough to think it's just my parents. I drive to Sausalito, Ethan's penthouse address burned into my memory. We need to talk, face to face, no boardroom games. The elevator opens to a foyer of pale oak and glass, the bay glittering beyond. Ethan's there, suit jacket draped over a sofa, classical music fading as he mutes it. "Thanks for coming," he says, pouring green tea with a slight tremor in his hands. I sit, the leather chair cold, untouched, like everything in this sterile space. "About the dinner?" He starts, staring at his cup. My aunt arranged the seating. "I was late. Board call. I didn't know." I keep my voice flat. I learned plenty standing. His jaw tightens. "She spoke out of turn." "Maybe she spoke for you," I counter. He shifts, restless. My family sees alliances as currency, status, not skill. I didn't choose their game, but I didn't stop it. For that, I'm sorry. His apology feels real, but it's not enough. I stand, pacing to a walnut console, its drawer slightly open. Curiosity wins. Inside, a folder with my family's law firm logo. My gut twists as I flip it open. A letter, dated weeks ago, integrating Lily Harper into the Cole household will neutralize reputational risk. Harpergenics offers 7% equity for Miss Harper's withdrawal from public ventures. They're buying my silence, selling me like a stock option. I slide the folder back as Ethan returns from a balcony call, his hair mussed by the wind. "Everything okay?" he asks. I nod, my voice steady despite the rage clawing my chest. "Just business." I leave, the folder's words burning in my mind. They didn't just marry me off, they auctioned me. But I'm not broken, and I'm not done. The game's just begun, and I'm rewriting the rules. The Sausalito penthouse elevator hums downward, its mirrored walls throwing back a version of me I barely recognize. Eyes shadowed, lips pressed thin, the sapphire gown clinging like a second skin. Ethan's parting words echo, "I'm sorry." Sorry doesn't erase the folder I found, its pages branding me a liability to be silenced with stock options. My parents didn't just arrange a marriage, they orchestrated a corporate burial. The doorman hails a cab and I slide into the back seat, the city's neon streaking across the window like blood on glass. My fingers graze the prenup in my purse, its promises of freedom now tainted by that letter. Ethan's not the pawn my parents painted, but is he the puppeteer? The cab's tires hum and I lean back, the ache in my neck pulsing with every heartbeat. I'm not their sacrifice, I vowed in that motel mirror, but vows are fragile when the ground keeps shifting. Back at my Soma loft, the air smells of stale coffee and desperation. I lock the door, double-checking the bolt, the snake and fire still vivid in my mind. My laptop's on the counter, its screen glowing like a lifeline. I need answers, not sleep. I dig into Horizon Ventures, Ethan's shadow empire, cross-referencing SEC filings with biotech journals. At 3 a.m., a VentureBeat archive surfaces. Horizon Ventures majority partner Ethan K. Cole funds neural tech grants anonymously. He's not just rich, he's a ghost, pulling strings no one sees. My parents lied about his weakness to sell me their plan, but why did Ethan play along? I sip cold coffee, the bitterness grounding me. Another tab opens, an old gala photo, my father snubbing Ethan's mother. Her sapphire silk dress catching the light, her whisper, "Money can't buy class," haunts me. This isn't just business, it's personal. Dawn paints the bay gray and I'm still at my desk when my phone buzzes. "Evelyn, home, now. We need to talk. No pleasantries, just a summons." I ignore it, but a second text follows from Richard. "Don't test us, Lily. This is bigger than you." My pulse spikes, but I don't reply. Instead, I pack a duffel pack, laptop, prenup, a change of clothes, and head to my parents' Marin estate, not to obey but to confront. The drive is tense, my rental car's brakes squealing on the cliffside curves. I check the rearview mirror, half expecting a tale. The arson report still unresolved. As I pull into the driveway, the gates part, but the mansion looms like a fortress, its glass facade reflecting a storm brewing over the Pacific. Evelyn meets me in the foyer, her pearl earrings glinting under the chandelier. "You're late," she says, her voice a blade wrapped in silk. "And you're lying," I counter, dropping my bag. "I know about Ethan's stake in Cole Dynamics. You sold me as a fixer for your mess." Her eyes narrow, but she doesn't flinch. "We protected our legacy. You'd understand if you hadn't failed so spectacularly." The jab lands, but I'm past flinching. Richard emerges from his study, phone in hand, his tie loose like he's been up all night. "Ava's Forbes cover drops tomorrow," he says, glaring. "Don't ruin her moment with your drama." I follow them to the dining room, the same lilies choking the air. The table set for 3, no place for me. "Sit," Richard says, pointing to a side chair. I stay standing. I found your lawyer's letter to Ethan, 7% equity to keep me quiet. You didn't marry me off. You auctioned me. Evelyn's lips purse. Ancient history, Lily. Sign the contract and move on. I shake my head. Not until you tell me why you trashed Ethan to my face while begging him behind my back. Richard slams his glass down, wine sloshing. Enough. You're a liability. The merger fixes that. Their words sting, but I'm not the kid who cried over their disapproval. I turn to leave, but Evelyn grabs my arm, her nails digging in. You're staying in the guest house. That room upstairs is gone. I wrench free, my skin stinging. Gone like my diploma, or my future. She doesn't answer, just gestures to the back door. The guest house, a cedar cabin overlooking the vineyard, feels like exile. Inside, it's stale, untouched since my college days. I drop my bag, the floorboards creaking, and collapse onto the daybed, staring at the ceiling. The silence is heavy, but it's mine. Then a faint crackle breaks it. Voices, tinny and low, spill from an old intercom above the fireplace. I forgot it existed, linking the guest house to the main estate. I creep closer, turning the knob. Richard's voice, clipped. She's back, waltzed in like she owns the place. Evelyn, sharper. She'll have no leverage. A third voice, male, unfamiliar. She seemed colder tonight, less pliable. Evelyn scoffs. She always folds. Give it time. My hand clenches the couch, nails biting wood. They're not just planning my marriage. They're betting on my collapse. I switch off the intercom, the click loud in the dark. They think I'm weak. They're about to learn how wrong they are. By morning, the vineyard glows gold, but I haven't slept. I shower, pack, and drive to Berkeley, the road a blur of resolve. Professor Margaret Klein's office is my next move. She's a legend in corporate law, a mentor who saw potential in me when my parents saw failure. I park off Telegraph Avenue, the campus buzzing with students, their laughter a stark contrast to the war in my chest. I knock on her door and she opens it, her silver hair pulled back, glasses perched low. Lily Harper, she says, smirking. Trouble follows you like a shadow. I manage a smile. This time, I'm bringing it. We sit, her office a sanctuary of books and framed diplomas, a photo of Ruth Bader Ginsburg watching over us. I spill everything, the merger, the lies, the letter, the intercom. She listens, hands folded, eyes sharp. When I'm done, she leans back. You're not a victim, Lily. You're a player with a hand to play. Her words land like a spark. I pull a folder from my bag, my law degree inside, earned in secret through night classes and coding gigs. I kept it quiet, I say. Funded it myself. Klein's brows lift. You built a fallback, no one saw coming. We head to the legal archives, a dim basement of locked cabinets and dusty merger files. Klein's clearance gets us in, the air thick with paper and steel. We find the Harpergenics Cold Dynamics proposal, a confidential draft buried in a folder labeled M&A Holdings. My name's there, listed as a spousal asset to reduce shareholder litigation risk. My marriage isn't love or strategy, it's a legal loophole. Klein taps the page. Clause 6.4, spousal majority trigger. Only you can invoke it. We draft an objection and audit request, my fingers steady on the laptop, each word a brick in my defense. By noon, I've got a cream envelope, the motion inside, ready to shake their world. I leave Berkeley, the envelope against my ribs like armor, but as I merge onto the Bay Bridge, my car shudders, the steering wheel jerking hard. I fight it, muscles straining, as the car veers toward the railing, the bay glittering below. Horns blare, and I manage to pull over, heart pounding. A tow truck later confirms it. Severed steering fluid line, not wear but a clean cut. Someone's escalating. Snake, fire, crash,
Now this. I rent another car, my hands shaking but my resolve iron. They want me scared. I'm done running. Friday morning, I stand in the elevator of Coal Dynamics' Silicon Valley Tower, the 22nd floor looming. My navy suit is crisp, no makeup, just the calm of a woman who's survived too much to fold. The doors slide open and the boardroom falls silent. Evelyn freezes mid-gesture, her diamond bracelet catching the light. Richard stands, his chair skidding back, face flushed. Ethan, at the table's end, grips his wheelchair, his scar stark under the fluorescence. I walk the length of the polished table, heels clicking like a metronome, and set my folder on the empty general counsel seat. "Good morning," I say, voice clear. "I'm Lily Harper, spousal shareholder, 12% voting weight. I'm here to invoke Clause 6.4. Whispers ripple, sharp and uneasy. The CFO, a wiry man in pinstripes, frowns at his tablet, my name clearly not on his script. I slide copies of my motion down the table, each page a dagger. You'll find a request for an independent audit and an injunction against the merger until spousal due diligence violations are addressed." Evelyn recovers first, her voice saccharine. "Lily, this isn't the place, sweetheart." I meet her gaze. It's exactly the place, and I prefer Ms. Harper here. Ethan clears his throat. "You're misreading the financial stakes, Lily. Let's discuss privately." I shake my head. Transparency's better. "Chairman, add my motion to the record." The chairman, Mr. Grayson, a silver-hailed man who once judged my high school science fair, nods slowly. "After standard reports," he says. Ethan clicks a remote and a screen lights up with grainy footage. Me, 3 weeks ago on a Palo Alto bench, tears streaking my face, an empty coffee cup crumpled in my hands. Caption: Subject displays emotional instability, murmurs rise, pitying and smug. Ethan's voice is smooth, clinical. "We must question the credibility of a challenge from someone in clear distress." My blood boils, but I don't flinch. "Play the full clip," I say, voice steady. He hesitates, thumb hovering. The footage cuts off, damning in its abruptness. I open my folder, pulling a sealed envelope. Notarized evaluation from Dr. Sarah Weiss, board-certified psychiatrist, dated 3 days after that footage. Confirms my decisional capacity. I hand it to Grayson, who breaks the seal, scans, and passes it down. A director, Ms. Patel, with silver curls and piercing eyes, looks up. "Mr. Cole, why present an edited clip when a full evaluation exists?" Ethan's jaw twitches. "I wasn't informed of the evaluation." I hold his gaze. "Maybe vet your sources as thoroughly as you vet spouses." Silence thickens, heavy as fog. Patel stands, her voice cutting through. She's not the liability. She's the oversight we needed. A motion to vote is called. Hands rise. 3, 4, 5. Tied at 5. All eyes shift to Grayson. My pulse thuds, loud as a gavel. He lifts his hand, slow, deliberate. Merger frozen. Evelyn's breath hisses out, sharp and wounded. Richard stares at the table, his tie a crumpled noose. Ethan rolls back, the wheelchair's leather creaking like a warning. He stops beside me, voice low. "You'll regret this." The threat lands, but I carry it out like an empty envelope, weightless but dangerous. Outside, the Silicon Valley sun blinds me, but I don't stop. Retaliation won't come head on. It'll slink through lawyers, leaks, late-night calls. I check into an Oakland hotel, paying cash. My burner phone buzzing with Klein's text. "Auditors in tomorrow, stay sharp." I nod to the screen, alone in a room that smells of starch and solitude. The audit's my shield, but it's also a spotlight. And I'm not naive, they'll fight dirty. 2 days later, auditors swarm the 22nd floor, their neutral suits and clipped questions a stark contrast to the board's panic.
I hand over passwords, shadow contracts, every scrap Klein and I unearthed. Evelyn tries to barge in, her heels clicking furiously, but security stops her, polite but firm. Ethan's nameplate vanishes from the directory by week 2, a silent retreat. Week 3, the findings land. EG3 binders thick as encyclopedias. Forged signatures on licensing deals, shell companies holding my marital clauses, stock options tied to my compliance. The lead auditor, a woman with steel gray hair, calls it egregious misuse. The board reconvenes, Grayson reading the summary aloud, his voice heavy, faces pale, then flush. Richard smooths his tie, a nervous tick. Evelyn's nails drum the armrest, her composure cracking. Ethan dials in, a red light blinking, but he stays silent, a ghost on the line. Resolutions follow. Immediate resignations for Richard and Evelyn. Restitution in assets, not cash. Among them, my portfolio. Community clinics, startup incubators, dreams I sketched in secret, shelved as frivolous. Now they're mine. Grayson slides the transfer deed forward. Sign here. My hand doesn't shake. One flourish, my signature clear, unhurried. No one stops me. The gavel's quiet, but it echoes in my bones. That night, I draft a letter to Ethan, closure, not forgiveness. I fold it with deed copies and leave it at his penthouse reception, the marble desk cold under my fingers. The receptionist glances at me, curious, but says nothing. Ethan doesn't reply. He doesn't need to. His silence is answer enough. Spring edges in, crisp and salty, as I stand at the Bayfront Innovation Hub's ribbon cutting in Oakland. The brick building gleams, its windows throwing back sunlight like a promise kept. Volunteers string teal and silver balloons, a nod to the scarf around my neck, the one Evelyn called tacky, now a badge of survival. The crowd hums, city council, local entrepreneurs, reporters with mics. One steps forward. Ms. Harper, why this center now? I finger the scarf's frayed hem, smiling. Because silence shouldn't be the price of worth. Cameras click, applause scatters, warm and real. I take the oversized scissors, the ribbon falling in a clean snip. Cheers rise and the doors open to co-working spaces, childcare nooks, a prototyping lab, spaces I dreamed of when no one listened. Evelyn and Richard don't attend. Richard's email is curt, best wishes. Ethan's invited seat stays empty, a choice or a statement. Either way, it speaks louder than words. Christina, a grant recipient, tugs my sleeve, pointing to the harbor. The sun kisses the water, waves burning copper. I walk to the balcony, the steel rail cool under my palm. Gulls cry, fairy horns hum, and the scarf snaps in the breeze, stubborn as me. I breathe the briny air, letting it settle. I whisper, I was never the failure, the words for me alone, but the crowd's warmth, the hub's pulse, the bay's endless rhythm, they hear it too. The game's not over, but I've claimed my board. Let them come. I'm ready.